The Empowerment Show aims to equip individuals with the necessary tools, knowledge, and confidence to make informed decisions and take control of their lives. It also focuses on ensuring access to essential resources and the opportunities.
Good evening. It's 6 o'clock. Always time to rock. Here we are on the Empowerment Show. Thank everybody for tuning in. Please hit that like or subscribe button. It's free. You don't have to pay. All right. This evening we got some things that we like to talk about, like maybe what's going on in DC. I'm not in DC. Don't have boots in the ground, but I'm going to bring somebody in that's actually from DC, living in DC, and I'll let you know all about the things that are going on and the mood of the people that right now that are in DC, being under siege, if you want to call it, by our own troops. Always at the beginning of the show, I always like to have something to be grateful for. I'm grateful for breathing air this morning. I've got a little bit of pain, but my pain has been subsided a little bit. But yeah, those are the things that I have to be grateful for, is that breathing air and living. So I'm gonna go ahead and oh, I hear the doorbell. Let me see. Yeah, I think I hear the doorbell. So that may be him coming in. So hey, let me see what's happening. Let's see if he's there. Let's see. Oh, hey,
Hey,
Dr. Charles Brown.
yes,
How are you, young man?
I'm doing great, Kendall. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful that you took the time and the opportunity to come onto the show to at least express what's going on down there in DC. Now, when we watch the regular news, not my news, but when we watch the regular news, um, we have so many things about what's going down there. They got boots on the ground as far as soldiers are concerned, and the way that they say it, they got soldiers all over the place. It's like everybody's under martial law. Is there a curfew going on? And what's the feel of the people? Are the people happy to see the National Guardsmen there, or are they, or is it mixed feeling? What's going on? Talk to me, Dr. Brown.
Well, it's a mixed bag. Um, yes. Well, now we're at the point where you know this week ends the state of emergency of having the National Guard here in the district. But some felt that it's a little bit more, uh, you know, protection, and they felt more safe. Some of them and things to that nature. But the crime has pretty much been down all around because Bowser and her administration has really worked hard to get the crime levels down. It's not as bad as it's been in some of the other cities, such as Chicago, where it really has been bad, and some of the other areas. But DC has really, they've maintained, and the data shows that it's been down. But having the extra troops, it was really to be, and for some of the other people felt that it was overkill. And a lot of them, all they did was stand around. The ones that were active in doing things, they did post up some checkpoints in the city at night, mostly on the weekends. And it was basically in the areas that you knew that they had a lot of the other diverse communities, such as the Hispanic community. It seems like it was a little bit more harassing to them, so to speak, because they had ICE, they had the FBI, they had the DEA stuff, different ones that were out there, the ATF, and so they had different groups, but it was a mixed bag. Some people felt that it was good, but in some of the black neighborhoods, you didn't see any of the National Guards anywhere.
Wow,
It
really?
was the regular MPD, you know, but you
Right.
didn't see any of the National Guards. Now, mostly where they were posted are around the monuments and where you saw tourism. But other than that, yeah, in some of the neighborhoods, you really didn't see much of them. But like I said, in some of the touristy areas and places that have more of a Latino population, that's where you saw a lot of the troops and things and the boots on the ground.
Right. I see how they how this is working, how they're pretty much trying to go after the immigrants. But I heard also that they were deployed picking up garbage in the streets. That's what we're paying
Hmm.
for. Because it costs us a lot of money, taxpayer wise, to have the National Guard in the city. And just
Yes.
based on what you're saying, and even from what I heard, they weren't actually a necessity. You didn't need to have them there. That the crime was already on its way down because of the what the mayor has implicated already, what she's already put in. You know, and
Right.
is she? You think she's doing a pretty good job down there in DC?
I think she's walking a fine line because I believe that if she really went off script or, lean one way further than the other, I think she would get like repercussions from Capitol Hill and from the president himself. I think she's really walking the line where he won't try to overtake her or try to oust her from her position and stuff because, being that DC is not a state and everything is federal. I think he would pressure Congress and stuff to put the screws to DC. So I think she's trying to walk that line to protect a lot of the freedoms and policies that we have remaining in the district. I know they're voting on different things to overturn home rule. When it comes to appointing the attorney general here in the city, when it comes to new rules about, arresting, 14 and 16-year-olds and stuff. So it's a lot of things that Republicans are trying to do in, turning the home rule, turning it upside down.
Do you think that there's a lot of profiling, racial profiling there?
When it comes to the Latinos, I really do believe so.
Well, I think it's them first, but I think because he's going after Haitians too, and who's to say you're walking down the street, they'll snatch you up, and who's to say that they wouldn't believe that you're Haitian?
Right. It's interesting in DC, being a person native of New York and being a native New Yorker. I know we have a heavy Caribbean population in Brooklyn.
Right.
And of course, a heavy Latino population up around the Bronx and in Manhattan and those type of areas. But here in the district, mainly you see a heavy African population from Africa. You see a lot of Ethiopian, but I don't see too much of the Haitian. I see, from Jamaica. And basically, that's what you see, or people from India, Bhopal, all of those places. But I don't see too much of the Haitians. But I'm sure that if they do the profiling to see, they would probably get an African or Indian person first. Then they would get any Haitians because it's not such a strong Haitian population here in the district.
When they put on that. The posse hat, when they put on that posse hat and they're going after people, I don't really think they care.
No.
If you have melanin in your skin, then you're going to be put in the paddy wagon, and you can scream "I'm American" till you're blue in the face, and I don't think that's going to make a difference either.
Yeah.
And I think it's coming down to that because, like in Washington D.C., you have the troops there. Now he wants to slide over to Chicago. So how many places does he plan to occupy?
I think he's planning to occupy all the blue states or the blue Democratic states, and especially the ones that have the, the freedom of asylum for immigration.
Yeah, what do they call it? Sanctuary cities.
Sanctuary, yes. Yeah.
That's what they call it. So New York, I guess, is on the list too. I guess Philadelphia is on the list too. Yeah. Well,
and the sad part about...
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the sad part about New York, because they have the mayor, what's his name, Eric Adams. I think he would put that in place and help that situation out. I don't think he would fight it.
I don't think so either. I mean, Trump bailed him out, didn't he?
Yes.
Trump went to the people and said, "Hey, they pretty much don't prosecute him," and they didn't prosecute him, so he owes Trump. And eventually, the devil always wants his due, and Trump is the devil, so the devil will get his due.
Yep, I agree.
I always say that Trump is looking to impose martial law on the
for a minute there, we had it here in the district. We had we had the curfews. The kids couldn't be out. after a certain time without an adult, and sometimes with even if adults or not, they just couldn't be out. And when you have National Guard and stuff and military occupying your city, that's martial law. That's martial
That
law.
is martial law. Yes, yes, it is. And in this case, it was illegal.
Yes.
What he's doing with the troops are illegal. But I'm gonna tell you, he don't care because it goes down to litigation, and he doesn't care. Let it
No,
run
he
through the
doesn't.
court.
About time,
He doesn't.
he done he's done
So
did the
much
deed,
damage.
as they say.
Mhm.
So who cares if it goes to court?
Yeah, you got a lot of Trump supporters there.
I'm thinking in the district, not as much. There's a few, but not as heavy as you would see in Virginia
Mhm.
or, some in Maryland. But in the district, I think it's more, against it than it is pro.
Hmm. So the ones that are there, do you think that they're happy to see the National Guard? Do you know anyone that's happy to see the National Guard or the occupying of the National Guards or the military itself? That'd be the military
Well,
being deployed into the world's capital, DC.
right. Some have vocalized that they feel that it was good that they felt more safe. Of course, it was from the Caucasian demographic. But there was a few of the Caucasians that felt also that, it was overkill, that they really didn't need all of that, and everything. And that sometimes it was in the way, especially when it came to rush hour, coming home from work and, and them, doing whatever they do with the vehicles and, just making it more of a hassle.
I'm just telling you, with this administration, I just feel as though they are out to punish Americans, and I don't just mean black or brown or. I think they're out to punish all Americans, poor Americans.
Yes.
If you don't have a B behind you, and I mean by billionaire, then I don't
Mhm.
think you really matter, or what you feel really matters, because it just seems like they're gonna do away with all of us or a lot of us, man.
Yes.
A lot of
Yes.
us are not going to be able to come through and make it through this. And back in the 60s, I know we went through rough times in the 60s and the 50s and so forth, and with the Jim Crow era, with the segregation era, and
Mhm.
even going into even to 2000 with all the stuff that we had, the shootings and so forth of the police officers killing us and stuff like that. But I don't know about this Trump era, man. It seems like he's putting a lot of things in place, man. I just listen every
Yes.
day. He's signing some new executive order now. Executive order is not a law, but the people they're using it like if it is a law, like going
Right.
down to DC with the troops. I mean, what's going to be next? Are they going to leave troops there? When is this
Well,
occupation supposed to end?
funny you should mention that because this is the fine line that Muriel Bowser, the mayor, is doing now. She's saying that she wants to erase the emergency, the urgency of having National Guards here, but she still wants some of them to linger to help with, policing and things to that nature in the district. You know, um, I think it's a two-edged sword there. Even though she doesn't want an extension, but still she wants the MPD to work with the National Guard, if they should linger, because really they have their orders to stay in the district until the end of December.
Mm.
So even if they are, if it doesn't renew about the emergency situation, those guys, once they have their orders, they're there until the end of December.
Mm. Mm. It
So
seems like
she's giving, you know,
she's
that they
giving
need to
leeway.
work together.
Well, it doesn't sound like she's working together. What it sounds like is a person that's speaking with a fucker tongue. That's what the
Yes.
natives used to say. And that's kind of like how is she up for re-election?
Yes. Next year she's up
And
for
there
it.
it is. So she has a job she has to save. So
Yes.
she's not going to save with so much. She's not going to
Mhm.
put up with so much of a fight because Donald Trump, he waves his magic wand and she will not be reelected. And
Nope.
she's been mayor for quite a while of DC. Is she
Yes.
not?
There was a time She went unopposed. I believe it was in 2016 that she went unopposed, that, with the voting and stuff. She didn't even have anybody running against her, which I thought was bad. It was just a shoo-in for her. And then this last time, she really had somebody that was going for her. Robert White, the council member at large. He puts her to the test because he doesn't agree with a lot of her policies. He feels that, she really is one of the ones that just show up for photo ops and ribbon cutting. She's really not a person of the people and have the pulse of the community of what's going on. And he feels that she's not realistic in looking at this thing with the commanders coming back to DC and things to that nature. That it's going to be a real heavy deficit on DC rather than being a moneymaker to bring jobs and stuff. He used the comparison to where FedEx Field, I think now they call it Citi Field or whatever, in Maryland, where that houses them right now, the Commanders. When that first started, a couple of years ago, it was big. It was huge. Magic Johnson bought into it. Gladys Knight, she had a restaurant out there, where she went in collaboration with the Winans and stuff. It was like a jazz bar thing, where they had live music and like a supper club. But those are all gone now. All gone. They have townhomes and stuff around there, but the crime is bad. And FedEx Field is, it's going down. But they had Snyder out there, and everything, who ran it for 30 years and just didn't care.
What happened to it?
Yep.
Why did it get run down? What happened to it?
Well, I think he was just taking the money. Snyder was just taking the money and everything. They weren't winning they didn't have a winning season. People weren't buying the season tickets. The Commanders were losing for a while. They wasn't making the playoffs and stuff, for a long period of time. And then just last season, when they took on Jaden Daniels and they fired, Ron Rivera and all the, got rid of the old regime and brought in the new regime, it started looking better. So now they're trying to get a new stadium, and now they got pretty much it passed to come back to the district and, rebuild RFK Stadium and things. And but
all of this is at the taxpayers' dollar.
Yes,
all of this comes on the taxpayers. You build a new stadium. It's not that these rich people build a new stadium. It comes off the taxpayers' dollars.
Exactly.
All these changes and things that they want to make, all of this stuff comes right out of our pockets, right out of the taxpayers' dollar.
Yes.
And this guy now, he wants to change the name back. He's into this roll back in the name deal. He wants to change it back to the Redskins.
Yes.
Which I can't understand why anybody would want to do that. You disrespect me, and you've been disrespecting me for quite a while. And I'm telling you, I'm tired of you disrespecting me. Stop it.
Right.
We finally get the name changed and all kind of stuff, and now this guy wants to roll everything back. I just want to I want to know how far back does he plan on rolling everything back? I mean, really. I mean,
that's the question. Yes. Yes.
He's been something else, man. I mean, even across the waters, man. The people are not they're not very happy with him. He's not very welcome. And us as Americans, when we're traveling overseas, we got to put up with that. We got.
I know, and we got to watch it.
Yeah, now you got to watch it because people might want to kill you because you're American. It makes you wonder if it's worth actually getting on a plane going anywhere now.
Yes, yes, because we could be targeted.
You're telling me that the mood now is starting to change in DC, or do you see people feeling more free to move around? I mean, I
think
I can't see you being free.
I don't think it's free, but I think it's unsure. People are unsure and really don't know. I think it's with caution, because you really don't know what to expect.
DC go under it because it's not a state. I imagine it goes under all federal ruling.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, because when they brought the troops into California, they definitely said that was illegal because he didn't call. That should have been up to the state to say we want the troops to be brought in. But DC, I don't know. Is that fair ground for him?
Yes, it is, because remember when they had January 6th, it was up to him to call for the National Guard to break that up, but he didn't do it. It took what's his name, the Vice President Pence, to call them to activate the people to come in and help out.
Are people still trying to get over this the January 6th thing there in DC? Is it still has a
Yeah,
big
well,
effect still?
that was pretty bad. He caused sedition and everything, and this guy is guilty of it, and now he's president.
Well, he's guilty of a lot of things, and this, like I tell you, I don't understand. I mean, I can understand if I was a white supremacist or dealing with white supremacists, I can understand how this man is back in office, because the same way that this country was the people that came here, they were
Mm,
corrupt people. They came here, they murdered, they killed, they did all of these things, they conquered, they were that type of people. So I can see how he's of the same mindset. He doesn't care. He just wants to
right.
make money, make money, make money, make money, and he doesn't care. Like he takes
Mm.
money out of. You ever listen to Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? You ever listen to him?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
so
that's
these are the
bad
type of
too.
people. Oh, he's sad in all kind of ways. You ask him a question, he doesn't know. You ask him
No,
why did somebody get fired? I don't know. Every he avoids every question. You ask him about immunization or getting shots or vaccination.
yes,
He knows nothing. All he knows
yep,
is some conspiracy nonsense that he spews out of his mouth. Okay, but these are the kind of people that Trump put into place.
yes.
He put the Linda McMahon in charge of education.
Hmm.
He
And look
puts
where
he
that's
put
at.
oh come on. What's gonna if they privatize all of the schools, then
Yep,
the people who don't have the money or can't afford to go, what happens to them when
right.
there's no public school system? What happens to the people who when they start really taking away their Social Security, start messing with Social Security and their Medicare? What happens to those people that with the safety net?
Right.
It's crazy. And every time you hear these people when they want to argue or debate with you, they don't want to abide by the Constitution
Mm.
unless it's about guns.
Yes,
You
yes.
say guns, they're in my Second Amendment right. And that can
Hmm.
be interpreted when you actually read it. That can be interpreted a lot of ways, and people are we're not a well-oiled militia, so but that's what it states in the Second Amendment. But people kind of skip over that and say all citizens have the right to bear arms in this country, and they'll fight you tooth and nail.
Yes,
Guns, what is it? God, guns, and country. Isn't that
yes,
what they told us in the military? When we went in the military, they didn't tell you that when you're going out to war, you're fighting for God and country.
yes.
I didn't understand it then because I said, God, what happened to the 10 Commandments, bro? Thou shalt not kill.
Right,
You're sending me off to war to kill, and you're telling me I'm doing it in the name of God? It doesn't
right.
sound right. So this is the type of country that we live in. We have a lot of
Yes.
struggles that we have to still overcome ourselves. That just as
Hmm.
African American men,
Hmm.
we still got the issue of whether we want to call ourselves black, whether we want to call ourselves African American. Me personally, I'm of African descent because I go back. I did the DNA. We come from
Hmm.
Ghana, Nigeria, so I'll say I'm African American. But
Right,
basically, I'm black because when I'm black, that makes me part of the global majority.
right,
You see, because
right.
there's more people of color in the world than everyone else. So I'll take the black because the black that opens the door and lets me in everywhere, every
Yes,
country, everywhere they got black people. I'm good to go. People that look like
yes,
me, I'm good to go. Again, Mr. Charles
yes.
Brown. Do they call it Charlie B?
Yeah.
Charlie Brown?
They used to call me Charlie Brown in school.
Oh, I could imagine how they must have tore into you, huh? Did,
Yes,
did they
yes.
ask you where Snoopy was?
With Snoopy and how's Lucy?
Yeah, I would have said, yeah, Snoopy's hanging out with Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
I'll be right there with him.
Yes.
All right, it has been a pleasure. I got an
Yes.
opportunity to speak to you, and maybe we learned a little bit more about what's going on in DC as far as the troops are concerned. So
Yes.
again, I have to say Ashe, which is
Mhm.
a good old African word. You should look it up.
Yes.
Ashe.
Ashe.
It's a good word. It's a really, really
Yes.
good word. All right, so I'm gonna have to say goodbye. We're going to end the
Okay.
show here and say thank you again for coming on. Hopefully, we get to have you come back and you can update us again on what's going on in DC, at least from a resident's perspective.
Yes, most definitely.
That's what I like. And then I understand you're an educator. Is that so?
Well, in
Well,
certain way, yes, yeah. With case management and different things, yes.
You're in the medical field as well.
Yes, yes, I am. I happen to be a nurse practitioner
Oh, and you're a pastor.
and a pastor.
Oh,
As yet,
we can throw
yes,
that
I
all these
am.
goodies out, man. It's not that I'm trying to give you your flowers. I'm just trying to give you your identity. Let people know who
Yes,
we're talking to, and that they're not just average Joe Blow that lives
no,
underneath the bridge and walks
yes,
around with a cup and go, "Can I have $1, please?" But you might get some good information out of somebody like that too. It just takes time to sit down and listen to them. All right,
yes.
again, about time for us to break out. I told you I'd give you a half an hour, and that's about what we're gonna do. Half an hour. All right, so
Okay,
I'm gonna tune out, hang out.
all
Thank you
righty.
guys for tuning in. My name is Kendall Stevenson. And again, this is the Empowerment Show. So we are very, very glad that you guys got an opportunity to tune in. Hopefully, you got a chance to learn a little more about what's going on in DC and politics. I know yesterday we had a pretty good show about politics. And in the future, we're going to have some more people come in, some actual politicians. And well, now tomorrow, you guys got a treat. We have my man, Chris Matthews. He will be in with his show, Share Your Light. That show is an excellent show. You guys should tune in. He's a young man, just like a lot of you guys. He's not an old cat like me. All right. So this is Kendall Stevenson, and it's about time that we sign off. Peace.